Hi everyone, I'm Jeanette with Returning Home Yoga, and today we're going to practice 2 restorative poses. We're going to experience what I call Starfish Pose, and from that we will be shifting into a cross-legged seated forward fold. So the props that you might like to get for today's practice would be a bolster or a couple folded blankets, maybe a pillow or cushion to support under your head. You might want to be warm. Restorative yoga is cooling for the body because it is deeply relaxing. So you might want to have a sweater or a long sleeve t-shirt. And to cover the eyes, you might actually, if you have an eye pillow, you can have it handy. Or you can actually use a scarf or a face cloth, something like that, to block out the light, to cover your eyes. So as we begin, we'll just take a few minutes to arrive into the space, onto your mat a little more fully. So you can either sit comfortably, or you might actually enjoy lying down for this centering portion of practice. Whatever you choose is perfect. Taking the time to arrive into your seat if you're seated, and onto your back if you're laying down. Either position, ensure the spine is long. Legs are comfortable. And arms positioned in a way where the body can have ease. So if you're seated, your hands could be resting on your legs. And if you're lying down, they might come away from the body a fair distance to encourage the palms upwards. We take a few moments to notice the current state of emotions. And acknowledging anything at all that you find, whether it's relief and happiness to have taken this time for some self-care. You might be feeling a little frustrated with something that's been going on. Allow it. You might be feeling a little anxious or overwhelmed, and that is all allowed. Whatever your experience is welcome. Take a moment to observe the current state of mind and whether it's racing, or whether it's begun to settle a little. Quite often when we have a regular practice, just being on the mat, the mind begins to have a little bit more space between thoughts. From there, we gently observe the rhythm of breath without the need to rush it or to slow it. Instead, simply observing its current cadence. And from there, we begin to deepen the breath, inviting the body to expand as the breath fills it. Knowing that the body will expand in whatever way it can. So there might be restricted areas where the breath hasn't quite reached to yet. And you might notice that there's a lot of space within the body that the breath fills into. Always remembering that your experience is perfect. As you complete the current cycle of breath, watch as the body returns to breathing itself. For those of you lying on your back, you might bring the knees into the chest and create a little bit of side-to-side movement. And before finding the side body shape, to pause in, and your head supported. And from there, with the exhale and helping hands, please come into seated. On an inhale, let's sweep the arms out and up. As you exhale, hands to the heart. We'll open practice today with a single Om. Please inhale. Namaste. And once again, welcome to your restorative practice today. We'll start with the Starfish Pose. So either using your bolster if you have one. If you don't and you're using a blanket or towels, creating a shape something like this for your blanket or towel, folding it into 3. And this is what you'll be laying upon. So it would go lengthways onto the mat. I'm going to use my bolster for demonstration purposes, but I am going to leave this blanket for my legs to rest upon if it's needed. The cushion I'm going to use at one end of my mat because it will be used to support my neck and head. And I'm positioning my bolster so that it's lengthways on the mat, and that's how your blanket will be if you're using the blanket. An inhale always lengthens the spine before we lower. And as you exhale, use your hands to guide yourself onto the bolster. Support your head as needed. You want to lower the head towards the ground. Now your shoulders might be quite far off the bolster blanket, or they might be resting upon the bolster or blanket. Tuck the pillow under so that your neck and head have support. Your arms can extend out from the shoulders, and they might be straight out from in the T shape, but you might also take them further up, closer towards the head. Now your legs, your body might be most comfortable if they're bent, or you could straighten them out, widening them, and allowing the body to find a starfish type of shape to it. If you have another blanket handy, you could place it onto your hips, belly, and thighs. And if you have the eye pillow handy, you could have it placed over the eyes as well. We settle here for approximately 5 minutes. A reminder that with any restorative pose, if your body becomes cranky or uncomfortable while you're holding, please ensure that you slowly and mindfully find your way off your props to one side and to rest in the side body shape for several breaths. Alternatively, you could simply remove the props from under you and lay flat. Attention does return to the breath here. Long, slow inhalations, longer and slower exhalations. Now there's a good possibility the mind will be busy. Whenever you discover yourself in thought, simply return again and again to the breath and to the body breathing consciously. your body is not wanting to move quite yet, honor that and simply stay how you are a little longer. When you are ready to shift, be mindful, move slowly, bending your knees first, and pausing there. Slowly beginning to roll off your props to one side. Finding the side body shape. And we pause here for a few breaths. And giving the body time to integrate the pose it was just in. And very slowly on the exhale, eyes could be closed. Bring yourself back to seated. Once upright, pausing. The next pose, the cross-legged seated forward bend. I will show you an option momentarily if you have knees that do not like to be in this cross-legged position. Your bolster will come out in front of you, like so. You might need the blanket. Really depends on the flexibility in your body. If you have books or blocks, they might also come in handy, but you don't need them because I will show you an option where they're not necessary. So an inhale lengthens the spine. An exhale, we fold forward. And we see if we can allow the forehead to rest upon hands. You might discover that your elbows rest onto the bolster and the forehead rests into the palms of the hands. You might discover that for your body, having the bolster on your legs and the elbows on it, forehead resting into hands might be more suitable in this shape. You might discover that there's really no availability, and so your bolster might come out in front of you, and you might rest your forehead onto it, something like this. Now, if you don't have a bolster, you could actually use a coffee table or a chair and simply rest your arms onto those surfaces. Something like this, if the chair's there, the coffee table. Really, there's numerous things around the house that could be used to support you. Now, for those of you that have knees that are a little bit unhappy in that type of position, you could place the blanket or the bolster under your knees, like so. You might use a cushion in between thighs and belly. The inhale still lengthens through the spine, the exhale folding forward. And see if it's possible for the forehead to rest upon something. So you might have your legs quite close and your head resting onto hands. You might place some books onto blanket or bolster so that your head is elevated. Not so much elevated, but supported. Whatever shape your body can be comfortable in, please begin to settle into it. And if you do have an extra blanket nearby, you could drape it onto the back body. As you settle. Just allowing yourself to find ease and allowing the breath to soften areas of the body that are a little bit resistive at the moment, a little bit tight. The breath, once again, is the focal point. Long, slow inhalation. Longer and slower exhalation. See if the breath can begin to filtrate into the back body. So the inhalations are expanding the back body to sky. The exhalations are softening. And letting go within the, not only the back, but within the whole body, somewhere at some point in time. You'll be here about another 3-4 minutes. A reminder, if your body needs to come out before then, always listen to that. preparing slowly to come out of the pose. Use a gentle inhale to bring yourself upward. Helping hands. Once you feel the body upwards, pause, eyes could be closed. And from there, it's placing your prop off to the side for the moment. Extending the legs, noticing which leg you currently have crossed in front. Give the legs a roll. Gentle inhale lengthens. The exhale recrosses the legs, other in front. Now you might discover that you need less or more props on this side. If you had your legs straight over the bolster, the option would be to, rather than having them straight over, you could bring them more into the butterfly bound angle shape. And an exhale could fold you forward. And again, you might use your hands to support. You might have books or blocks that you could place, so the forehead could be supported. Play and find what works best for your body. Using your inhale, create the length in the spine. And as you exhale, moving from your hips, just having a little bit of an issue finding the blanket. Use your exhale to fold forward from the hips, to find that new shape to settle into. Return attention to the breath. Encouraging breath into the back body. Long, slow inhalation. Longer and slower exhalation. And returning again and again to the breath, to the experience unfolding within body whenever the mind disappears. Into thought, into to-do list. Simply bring it back again and again and again. I'm just noticing that I have the same leg crossed in front, so I'm switching. Utilizing the power of the breath to create ease and space in the body. While the body's held, supported, not having to do anything, while space and openness is offered within it through breath and through the hold of the restorative pose. The hold and the support of the props. We prepare to come out of the pose slowly, mindfully, and perhaps with the eyes closed. Use the exhale portion of breath, helping hands to slowly restack the vertebra. Once upright, pausing. Allowing the body to align to this new position. And to integrate the openings that have arrived. From here, shifting the props off to the side, extending your legs, legs towards each other, away from each other. Placing the hands behind you. On an inhale, begin to lengthen and lift the torso skyward. As you exhale, hug the shoulder blades into midline. Encourage a gentle length through the elbow joints as the heart extends towards sky. 3 breaths here. On the inhale, slowly come up. As you exhale, begin to prepare for Shavasana. You might use the blanket or the bolster under the knees for a supported Shavasana shape. You might use a blanket, folded towel on your hips, belly, and thighs. It's really nice to aid in grounding and deepening into the experience of Shavasana. If when you lie down your head is tilted, so there's a deep arch and the chin is more upward than downward or level, you could use the pillow actually to support under your neck and hands. Now the arms come comfortably away from the body, a distance. Your palms could be upwards. Fingers curl in towards palms. First fingers and thumbs lightly touch. And if you have your eye pillow or cloth to cover the eyes, go ahead and do so now. Settling into the shape of Shavasana. Noticing any shifts within, not really shifts, but sensations within the body. And allowing those sensations to simply be there. And the body is continuing to integrate the practice. And once again, we return attention to the breath. We'll take 3 breaths into the abdomen. Inhale. Pause at the top. Exhaling. A little pause at the bottom. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And body returns to breathing itself. Feeling the weight of the body sinking, melting. into new depths within itself. When the urge to sneeze or to cough might arise, please allow it, like I just allowed that sneeze to be part of my practice. And the body releases in these ways. If your body requires longer rest in Shavasana, please stay longer. When ready, toes, the fingers, thumbs wiggle, ankles and wrists rotate. Maybe a full body stretch is needed. Maybe a hugging in of the legs towards chest. And a little side to side movement. Perhaps even a sacrum circle or two each direction. If there was movement, legs return, hugging to chest. One arm comes over the head, body rolls to that side. And again, we pause here. simply being with breath, and the inner experience from a restorative practice. The exhale with helping hands slowly guides body to seated. Taking the time to sit for a few moments, observing the current state of being, emotions, mind, perhaps new space and joints, and elsewhere in the body. On an inhale, please sweep the arms out and up. Exhaling, hands to heart. We close our time together today with a single Om and 3 Shantis. The word Shanti meaning peace. And as always, if you're comfortable to join in, please do so. Inhale. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Thank you for spending this time with me, exploring restorative yoga. It's a very powerful practice. Questions, comments, please feel free to leave them below the video, down below there. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'd love if you could. That would be awesome. And you may wish to turn on notifications, so you'll be alerted when new videos are uploaded to the channel. If you know of anyone in your life that could benefit from these videos, please do feel free to share. Thanks again. Namaste.